Coach Pete Rossomando, as we sit down halfway through spring ball, your thoughts so far in the first couple of weeks, what you've seen out there, what you guys have been able to get done?
I think the emphasis that we put on spring practice is really coming to fruition every day out there, working on creating turnovers on defense, preventing them on offense, and I think all that is really showing up each and every practice. A lot of great competitions out there with the young guys coming off red shirt, and it's fun to see those guys compete, and that's really what we're looking for. We got a great, the experienced quarterback coming back. It makes things operate a lot better with a younger group of offensive linemen. Jake's done a really good job with that. And defensively, we got almost everybody back. And having Najee Brown out there is a comforting feeling, watching him roam the secondary and create turnovers. And then Javon Elmore obviously is added boost to that group as well. So it's good to see. I think everything is exactly where we wanted it right now. We've been staying relatively healthy. A couple of bumps and bruises, but I think we're doing it all the right way. And I think the biggest competition right now is who's going to be our field goal kicker after Eddie Groth retired, I guess you'd say, after his fourth year. So it was that competition between Frank Palmer and a couple other guys is interesting right now.
You mentioned turnovers, and I've heard you mention a couple times during the spring to the different media members that are in attendance how important turnovers are to you and the emphasis you're putting on that on both sides of the ball. Can you explain what you weren't happy with last year and what you think needs to happen this fall?
Well, I think offensively we just turned it over too much, and then defensively we didn't get enough of them. And you say, well, yeah, I guess that's why we didn't have a lot of success, and it's true. But I think the games that we did turn them over on defense, we turned it over on offense too. And I think we gotta somehow get in sync that way, where we're just turning it over one less time than our opponent each and every game, and hopefully offensively we have no turnovers. And I think with the experience of Jake and where he is, a lot of those turnovers were interceptions early on, and I think now he'll definitely do a better job of taking care of the football, and that's important to us.
What did last year do for Jake and his confidence? Anything? We finished 2-9, so maybe the record wasn't there. But for Jake to throw for the amount of yards that he did, to really come into his own in that offense, what do you look for him going into his junior year?
Well, I think for the ability to spread the ball around, be a great leader. He wasn't really a great leader last year because he was so worried and focused about his job and what he needed to do. And I just seen it the other day in practice where, the young receiver lined up wrong, and Jake went over and grabbed him, moved him over in the right area, and, got him squared away. And that hasn't happened here since I've been here. So I think to have Jake do that really says a lot about where our offense is from a leadership standpoint. And it always starts at that position, at the quarterback position, to have a guy that you have a lot of confidence in, a guy that understands the system. He can run it himself. He can call the plays himself. That's the kind of guy we need. And I think moving forward, it's just going to keep us, offensively on the right track.
The guys in front of him, that offensive line, what do you look for them this spring heading into the fall?
We're having a great spring offensive line-wise. The young guys, but really talented. Our two guards are both sophomores, and our one tackle's a redshirt freshman, and the other tackle's a junior. So I think those guys are really starting to play together, play well. They've been together the whole spring so far, and really taken to each other and playing with a great mentality, the mentality that I'm expecting from the O-line, which is let's run the ball first and worry about everything else after.
Defensively, you mentioned Naj and Javon. How about somebody like Randall Laguerre, the year he had last year, and the steps that he needs to take to get to the next level?
Yeah, he's there right now. He's in great shape physically. He's got to hone some things up on his blitz technique and those types of things. But as a static linebacker that can read the line and get to the ball, there's not going to be many as good as him in our league. And we're just trying to keep Randall healthy. He's doing a great job leadership, but we got a really young group of linebackers doing a great job of leading those guys and making sure they're in the right spots to help our defense out. So Randall's just taking that next step. He's in great physical shape, which helps. He's healthy, which he hasn't been probably since week 2 of last season. So it's good to have him out there in that frame of mind.
A few more practices before the spring game on April 22nd in the morning. I know it's the practice more than the game that you look forward to. What are you going to accomplish that Saturday? What do you look to happen?
Just to have some fun and let the guys cut it loose a little bit. And they always enjoy the draft and splitting the team up and competing for hamburgers or hot dogs, and those types of things. So that's the part about it that you like, getting the alums back and, you know, having them see what's out there in the future and watching our guys play. And it's great to break bread with the guys coming in this year, the incoming class. They'll all be here as well. So it's going to be a great family environment, and just excited about our guys getting out there and playing a game situations, referees, those types of things.
Let's talk about that incoming class a little bit and the guys that had the opportunity to come here and watch during that spring game. And I know, I know there's a lot of local guys in that class. And what do you look for from that freshman class come August when they get here to camp?
Well, they're a talented group. There's no question about it. How they can transition to the college game, that kind of yet to be seen. A couple of them we feel like we're going to see if they can get out there right away and help our team in some way, shape, or form. But I think for them it's adjusting to college and seeing how fast they can pick up the system and run around, and do all those things that you need to do to be a great college football player, within a new system. So we'll see how it goes. But really excited about the group, a great group of kids, and really like their families, and I'm happy to get them on campus. And this is kind of like the start of their college experience, the spring game.
Next week you guys are going to host Be The Match. Can you talk a little bit about that and explain what that is to people that are watching?
Yeah, Be The Match. I mean, it's our bone marrow donor registry drive. It's a simple cheek swab to get people registered. We're trying to help people with blood diseases, leukemia, and certain types of blood-borne diseases to help them survive. And I think to get more people on the registry will help. We need as many African American donors as we can get, because that's probably the lowest number on the registry. And our kids are going to do a great job of getting out on campus and getting people there. And our goal is to get to 200, and we hope that people will join us at the Student Center on Tuesday between 11 and 4, and we can get 200 people registered at least.
And that number of 200 is the number that you've met each of the last 2 years, correct?
We've been pretty close. We haven't met 200 yet. 200 is a goal. I think we were at 190 one year. Last year we were at 184. So 200 is a goal. At a school our size, it should be no problem getting that done. So we need to just get out there and make sure that we make our message known to the people and what we're trying to do. And it's non-invasive. It's really just more the paperwork than anything else, and getting people on the registry.
All right. Coach Pete Rossomando, thank you for your time, and we look forward to talking to you again at the spring game.
Thanks.